In today's video, I will be teaching the newest member of our team, Jonathan, how to properly wash his hands. First, Jonathan, we want to use correct body mechanics to prevent strain and injury in your back. Next, Jonathan, if you have any rings or jewelry, we want to take those off now because microorganisms can stay within the jewelry. Before we start to wash our hands, we want to make sure our uniform isn't touching the sink to prevent microorganisms transferring onto our clothing from the sink. Also, we want to tuck our lanyards into our shirt now. Now, Jonathan, we want to turn on the tap water to warm water and adjust the water flow to moderate. We do this because warm water removes less protective oil from the skin, and moderate water flow prevents microorganisms spreading by splashing. Jonathan, we are now going to start with the first step of washing our hands. We want to hold our forearms and hands lower than our elbows. This prevents water from dripping back up on our arms and contaminating our clothing. We want to allow the water to flow from the top of our forearms to our fingertips, because the water should flow from the least contaminated, being our forearms, to the most contaminated, which is our hands. Next, Jonathan, we want to apply 2 to 4 milliliters of soap agent to the palms of our hands. Start at the top of each forearm in a circular motion and stop at your wrist. Then continue with each hand using firm rubbing circular movements to work up a lather. We want to lather our arms from least contaminated to the area of most contaminated to prevent the spread of microorganisms. Now, Jonathan, we want to rub the back of each hand using a circular motion. This motion helps remove microorganisms. Interlace your fingers and thumbs, moving hands back and forth. Doing this cleans the spaces in between your fingers. While doing this, we don't want to touch the sink with any part of our hands to prevent picking up microorganisms on the sink. Now, Jonathan, with our fingertips down, starting at the top of our forearm, rotate one arm at a time under the water so that the water flows from the lathered area of our forearm to our fingertips. We want to do this so that the water flows from the least contaminated to the most contaminated. Jonathan, we now want to use clean paper towel to thoroughly dry our hands from the top of our forearms to our fingertips and discard in an appropriate container. We do this because moist skin becomes chapped. Chapping breaks the skin surface, which can result in an infection. Second last step we want to do, Jonathan, is use a clean paper towel to turn off the taps and wipe surrounding sink surfaces. We want to use a new dry paper towel because microorganisms may be transferred from the wet paper towel to your clean hands. Lastly, we discard the paper towel in an appropriate container to maintain asepsis within the facility. Thank you for watching my hand washing demonstration video teaching Jonathan the proper techniques to prevent microorganisms from spreading while washing your hands.